So today, it's hard to believe that within how many hours it's going to be 2024. In fact, as I was coming over here, I was listening to international CNN, and it was somebody from on the other side of the earth welcoming in the new year. So today is New Year Wholeness Resolution. And in creating this, I really wanted to have something special for you. So I hope everybody has a sheet of paper, and you need a pen. If you need a pen, please make sure you have a pen. I think our practitioners will need a pen up front, please. Just so you're all set, ready to go. There you go. We've got plenty of them right here. And if you got a white one, it has a little tip on it. Take that off because it's a gel pen. Don't you love instructions at church? Okay, everybody ready? There you go. All right. So we're going to start off with our beloved Ernest Holmes. And Ernest Holmes says, "The spark which burns at the center of our own soul is caught from the living and eternal flame of spirit. And our charge, what we are to do, is to recognize this spark, this infinite spark that burns inside of us, to nurture it, and then to express that divine part of that spark out into the world. That's our part. We can know about it, we can read about it, we can hear about it, but we need to give it away. I say that almost every Sunday. Give that spark away. When we do that, what we do is we become what I call the way showers. It's funny, as a little girl, I used to do things, and I'll just say this, preface this. Back then, I was a Baptist, and I do still believe in Jesus because I think he had a message. But I always felt like I was a little Jesus because I was always trying to be better. I was always trying to do something more. Be the way shower. And so today, that's what I want you to think about. As you hear all the practitioners and Reverend Natasha and I, think about how can I live what I want in my own soul, and how can I give that away? Because I want you to actually see the demonstration of the things that you want. When you see the demonstration of the things that you want in your life, what happens is you start to see it more and more and more. It's not just once in a while. It's all the time. And that's when you start to see the miracle of Spirit moving through you. It's not about, oh yeah, it happened yesterday, it won't happen tomorrow. It's about it happens every single day. Joyce Rope, I hope I pronounced that correctly, from her book Out of the Ordinary says this. She says, "This new year, we can have some fun with the usual resolutions we make for living better, and yet we can go deeper. We can resolve to live the great life, to live free from attachment, to live wisely with humility, justly with compassion, lovingly with fidelity, and gratefully with generosity. We can hold this vision daily and renew it in our hearts." So as we begin the new year, I want you to really take today. You're here on purpose, by the way. You're here on purpose to hear this message so that you can take what you learned for yourself out into the world and to embody it. The last thing I want to say before we start on this process is I want as many of you like me to release 2023. Anybody ready to do that? Okay, good. I'm not alone. It was quite a year, and I can tell you I'm definitely feeling better, which I wasn't sure if that was going to happen. So I want you just to know anything is possible, and I think 2024 is a new way. It's a new way of us being and to take our lives to that place. So are you ready to do this? You sure? Okay. Yep. Don't have to break your arm or anything. Okay, good. All right, so everybody got a sheet of paper. So the hardest thing you have to do is write your name on it. So please write your name on the top. And then I purposely put things in here like today I claim for my life, for myself. This is all about you. You won't have to share this with anybody, so you can be really honest. You're supposed to laugh. Be really honest with yourself. All right? On the back are going to be the poems that the practitioners will be reading. I gave this to you. You do not have to read it while they are doing their poem. I want you to focus on this page first, but you'll have it later on. All right? So I thought it was very appropriate to start out with a description of a practitioner. And I want you to know that Reverend Jerry, Reverend Natasha, and I are also practitioners. So we all live the same creed. And because I think it's important when you hear us speak, you realize that we're speaking from a truth. We're not speaking about something that's magical, but an absolute truth in your life. And that you can have this, or you already have this. And it's your turn to claim it. But here's what a practitioner is. Ernest Holmes defines a practitioner this way. A spiritual practitioner consciously removes the apparent obstruction and leaves the field open to new influx of spirit. He or she resolves things into thoughts and dissolves the negative appearance in the condition by the recognizing only perfection. The practitioner must know that there are no obstacles in the path of truth. They must know that their word, being the activity of truth, removes all obstructions. And in your side it says she. Ernest Holmes always said he, so I purposely put she in there because there are a lot of she practitioners. There you go, yeah. Go girls, right? Anyway, it's he or she must know their word, being the activity of truth, removes all obstructions. So that's what we're trying to do today, is to remove those obstructions. So we're going to hear from our practitioners and ministers, Reverend Natasha and I. So let me first introduce Natasha, Reverend Natasha, who will talk about abundance.
When we are grounded spiritually, we recognize that spirit is our source. This means we have an unlimited supply. Turning to a spiritual source moves us into a feeling of abundance. There is one energy, one force, sustaining all of life. That source is spirit.
So after each comment, I'm going to make a statement about the particular principle. I think that we forget that abundance is all around us. It's everywhere. There's no place that the abundance of God is not. When I get to a place of not knowing, I go out my backyard and I look at my trees. Trees that when I got them, some of them were only this tall and one stem. That was my oak tree. It was one stem. It's this tall. Now it's so tall I have a hard time trimming it. It's because it's abundantly full of the life of God. So abundance is about our awareness and releasing anything in our minds that resemble lack or limitations. That release that lack and limitations. They no longer serve you. 2024 is a big year. It's time to just say, I am abundant. So now turn to your sheet. And on that, there's a little slice, I call it a pie, perfect pie, is to call forth what is the abundance that needs to be for you in 2024. And I will give you about 30 seconds to do that. And for those of you that are online, I will encourage you to just take a sheet of paper and write abundance. And then what is it you want to claim for 2024? Just write something that reminds you of that. You can fill it out more later on. We'll now move to the next quality. It's called beauty. Reading by our practitioner, Mava.
The longer I live, the more beautiful life becomes. If you foolishly ignore beauty, you will find yourself without it. But if you invest in beauty, it will remain with you all the days of your life.
Beauty is something we take for granted. How many times do you go someplace and you go, oh, that's pretty, and then you walk to the next thing? Or isn't that person beautiful? And then you walk around. It's like it's there, but we don't really pay attention to it. Here's what I want to encourage you to do this year, is I want you to begin to see beauty and then acknowledge it. What that looks like is, God, isn't that a beautiful rose? Say it out loud. Say it to somebody. Because when you do that, more is going to be revealed to you right away. You'll start to see more beauty. You'll start to see those things that you didn't see before. It's like watching a movie and realizing, gee, I didn't even know they said that in that movie. When you start to pay attention, it will be revealed more. So on your sheet, write down, how could you bring more beauty into your life, into your home, maybe into your surroundings? Maybe it's people. How do you bring that beauty back, more of that into your life? You're all so quiet. Must be good. Clarity is our next quality of God. And clarity will be read by our practitioner, Jody.
Clarity is the most important thing. I can compare clarity to pruning in gardening. You know you need to be clear. If you're not clear, nothing is going to happen. You have to be clear. Then you have to be confident about your vision. And after that, you just have to put in a lot of work.
Clarity, to me, is one of those things we seem to get after the fact. Anybody have that happen this year? After the fact, you went, oh yeah, I should have been that. So what if we simply did this? And I know this happens to me more often than I wish, is that we simply just paused when we didn't have clarity. Just stop and pause, and then respond with clarity and purpose. Bring clarity and purpose to maybe a conversation, or even like I'm doing writing something right now, and I get to a place where I can't do any more, so I will stop before I type more into my computer about the subject. So become clear on purpose and have intentions with what you're going to say. So on your sheet, I'd like you to jot down maybe a couple things about where you might want to have more clarity. Maybe it's with a person, maybe it's with a project you're working on, maybe it's with a job that you want. Where is it you need to bring more clarity? And just jot down a couple of notes. All right, our next quality is freedom. And it's just interesting that we have freedom, and we have the freedom of technology to bring Candace with us today. She's all the way in the islands of St. Lucius. So we're going to turn that over to Candace. She's ready to go. Go ahead, Candace.
Freedom by Langston Hughes. Freedom will not come today, this year, nor ever. Through compromise or fear. I have as much right as the other fellow to stand on my 2 feet and own land. I tire so of people who say, let things take their course. Tomorrow is another day. I do not need my freedom when I am dead. I cannot live on tomorrow's bread. Freedom is a strong seed planted in a great need. I live here too. I want my freedom just as you.
Thank you, Candace. Freedom is something we assume. But there are areas in our lives that we hold back, and I have the word quote unquote because. Question mark, question mark, question mark. We hold back. So I want you to look at your life and say, where could I give myself more freedom to do, to be, to feel that freedom and release any guilt for doing so? Where could I feel that freedom and release the guilt for doing so? We stop ourselves. I'm going to encourage you to stop doing that. Go ahead and fill out your sheet. Where could you give yourself more freedom? Love is the next quality. Mary Hard will be reading it. She's your practitioner today.
This poem is by Howard Thurman, called When the Song of the Angels is Stilled. When the song of the angels is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and the princes are home, when the shepherds are back with their flocks, the work of Christmas begins. To find the lost, to heal the broken, to feed the hungry, to release the prisoner, to rebuild the nations, to bring peace among people, to make music in the heart.
It's beautiful. To me, love is a powerful word. Something that every human wants, no matter where they live in the world. Would you agree with me? No matter where, they want love. But there's a secret about love. To receive more love, we must also give it away. We must also give it away. So if you're feeling like you're not loved, I'm going to encourage you to go give it to somebody. Find something, the smallest little thing. Give it away. I always think of a woman who has a child in a grocery store and the baby is crying crazy and the mom is distressed. I don't know why that comes to me, but it's always something that makes me want to go to her and just say, it'll be okay. And then I play with the child for a few seconds. And you can see the relief that comes to her body. And then she usually smiles. It's that simple. And if that's not your thing, find a big burly guy that needs somebody to love. You know what I mean? Find it and give it away. See, love, and I wrote this down, I just want to emphasize, this is a word I learned when I first started Science Mind. Love is a reciprocal word that requires action on your part. It's a reciprocal word. So on your sheet, write down who or where you could offer more love, unconditional love, and simply know as you give it, you feel it, you attract even more of the same. You get more of that love. So I'll give you 30 seconds to do that. Joy is the next quality. Joy, the reading by our practitioner, Sophia.
Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all the earth. I had to declare that. Psalm 100. But my quote is, beauty is the only thing that time cannot harm. Philosophies fall away like sand. Creeds follow one another. But what is beautiful is a joy for all seasons, a possession for all eternity. Oscar Wilde.
I'm going to ask Sophia to stay up here because I'm using her as an example. When I see Sophia, I always see joy. I always see joy because she has this beautiful laugh, right? Give me that laugh. That's a gorgeous. And that's one part of it. The other part of it is that I know that Sophia lives that joy in her life. And she brings that to her family, her 3 children that she's been bringing up pretty much by herself for quite a few years. And it takes a really strong person to bring and have that kind of joy. So I just want to congratulate you for being that person for me.
Thank you.
So on your sheet, I want you to write a few notes of how you could bring more joy into your life. I'll give you an example. I've been wanting to have a place to meditate in my property for months, for years. And finally, I decided I'm going behind the barn where the dog goes to get away from all the noise, and I'm creating a meditation area where I can't see any children. All I can see are horses and my dog meditating with me. Something like that. Where could you create a place where you could bring more joy and feel it? Actually feel it. Bring that to you. Peace is the next quality. Peace in the reading by our practitioner, Sylvia.
Peace steals through the waiting soul, and the comfort of the Spirit comes into the stillness of the heart. Peace, like an ocean of infinite life, reflects itself through me and calms every turbulent feeling. I am at peace and rest in the knowledge of the all good which is at hand. I rest in peace.
So the real question here for me, and I'm thinking for most of us, if we don't feel peace, what do we need to do to bring that forward? What do we need to do? I don't know about you, but I feel like life is very complex right now. Very complex. It's very fast. Very fast. And it is overwhelming. Overwhelming. The thing we have to remember is we're the only one that can create that peace inside. So maybe that's turning the radio off. Maybe it's not listening to CNN 24/7. I know some people that do that. It's like, where can I create that peace? So on your sheet, what do you need to create more peace in 2024? What do you need? And each one of us are different. So go ahead and write that on your sheet. Just a note of where can I create more peace in 2024. Could you give me a view of all the people that are online? It's just the one large picture. I need the group picture. Okay, I'll let you do that. He's good at this, so let him do that. The last quality is wholeness. And I'm going to be reading you that one. This reading's by Maya Angelou. It says, you don't need another person, place, or thing to make you whole. God already did that. Your job is to know it. Your job is to know it. When I think of the word wholeness, I think of it as an abstract word. It's abstract. It's like, how do I put that together for me? It's not really something we think about, but we want it all the time, right? We want to know we're perfect, whole, and complete, no matter what the situation is. I brought up the quality of God, which I think I gave 2 weeks ago to everybody. And the statement is wholeness, the state of being complete, perfect, restored, unhurt, healed. That's what wholeness means. The thing is, I want you to know you're already there. I don't need to tell you. It's more about you claiming that. That's who I am. I'm already there. And to go ahead and be there. Even when you're not sure. But to know that you are perfect, whole, and complete. So on your sheet, I want you to write down, what do I need to let go of so that I can feel more wholeness? Because we hold on to something. we hold on to it and say, what can I let go of so I can feel that wholeness? Oh, good, I get to see everybody. Hey, Dee. All right, so now that we've written all these things down, my question is, how do we anchor that in? I have 3 points. First one is, let's give thanks for all of it. The good experiences and the not so good experiences. Falling off a ladder at 8 feet high was not a good experience for me. And I say this because it was pretty dramatic. It was not something that I ever expected in my entire life. But I've had to go back through and look at that and feel that and feel it and watch my memory go from being very forgetful to coming back. So it's remembering those things that weren't so good, but learning, gee, I'll do it a different way next time, right? So that's being grateful for the blessings and the things that are learned. The second thing, be constantly aware of the divine presence in everything. There is no place where God is not. It is everywhere, at every moment, in every breath. Goodness is ever available to us to seek to touch our lives subtly, and overtly. Try to live a mindful life. And it's not always easy. I catch myself not doing that a lot. But try. In your resolutions, hold your treasures, the relationship of active generosity, because that's the foundation for the things we want to manifest. When there's something you really, really want, and then you see it, just give thanks for it, because that means you have now recognized that thing that you want, and that means it's coming to you. It's coming forward. And consciously choose each day that we hold as precious. I surely do now. It has made a huge difference for me. I give myself permission to make a lot of mistakes. Thank God I have good practitioners that let me do it too. That's the truth. The third one is, choose to release your belief and actions that keep you stuck. Instead, live the full life that God desires for us. And the next one I put in here as my own, not somebody else's, but ask the question that needs to be asked and not be afraid. Instead, know if you were given the question in your mind, then it was a God question to be answered. So many times we hold back asking, or we don't say what needs to be said. And what I want you to know, it's time. You are the messengers. It's okay to ask, because when you do that, you give permission to others to ask too. So don't be afraid of that. Let's rise up and understand that our destiny to live a life of wholeness is to really reveal the kingdom of God. And maybe I'm talking to the choir here, but I don't know, how many of you forgot God last week? Come on, raise your hands. We all did at some point, right? Live it. Reveal the kingdom of God. And then the last part is to embrace your divine heritage. And that's the reality of your yet to be this coming year. To embrace that. Embrace that. So tomorrow's January 1st. God, it's gone by fast. Wouldn't you agree? It's like it's whizzing by. But I want us to release those things that no longer serve us. Live with your intention and be at peace with yourself. Be at peace with yourself and the outer world. The outer world is a picture of major chaos. But all we can do is pray for them. And as we are at peace with ourselves, and then we're at peace with our families, then our families are at peace with more people. You follow? It's that 100 monkey thing. It's like created here and it goes out. You know what I'm talking about? See, you've heard that before. As we practice, more will be revealed. So today we're going to do something special, and that is I've asked my practitioners and myself to do a chambered prayer. So I'm going to ask them to stand up and ask you to close your eyes. And we're going to pray all of your intentions into 2024. And so I'm inviting you to close your eyes. I will be praying so that the audience can hear this. That's online. But I'll try and be quiet and let them pray over me. How's that sound? So close your eyes and let me start the prayer. I know that God is all there is. That the one powerful source, that infinite presence, is here in this life right now. That we are never separated from that power. Never separated from that good. Never separated from that oneness. And as I know that truth for myself, I know that for everyone that is online, everyone in this room, I know that they too are one with the infinite presence, moving their lives in a powerful way. And so I know and accept the words that have been written today are the truth of each individual, that they say yes to more of life, yes to releasing those things that no longer serve, yes to making a life that is more fulfilled, healthful, healing presence of God that is in their life. I give thanks for this truth, as I know that Spirit moves through each person individually and collectively, that together we create that world, that greater world, to make this world a better place. And so I know this is the truth. And join me in saying, and so it is.